the 12 activists were kidnapped by the Israeli terrorist forces. Shame! The Palestinians has revealed the true face of these Western powers. We, living in the West, see firsthand how we are also colonized by capitalist and imperialist forces that exploit people. Shame! And label those in the movement as extremists, whilst those enabling in the genocide sit at the top of our system, living off of the blood of our Palestinian siblings. Shame! Sit on the boat. We do not bow to them. We do not ask an oppressive regime for permission to try to stop their violations. If the government sail, we sail! We have seen the cowardly international institutions like the UN, like the ICJ and the ICC, these institutions that are drowning in their own bureaucracy, layer upon layer of committees, enforcing so-called statements that are nothing but meaningless statements of concern with no real action. Shame! It is not just incompetence, it is intentional. These institutions were never designed to be an instrument of revolutionary change. It was designed to preserve the status quo of the West and to play into the West's geopolitical interests. Shame! I often also sit and reflect as an Egyptian, as an Arab, on the shame I feel from watching a little child in Gaza asking, "Ween al-Arab? Where are the Arabs?" he screams, and my heart aches, my blood boils. I do not have the words to describe the utter disgust I feel, that we all feel towards the Arab regimes. Shame! The Arab regimes cannot call themselves people of dignity, of faith, or of solidarity, whilst they host the architects of Palestinian suffering to uphold their thrones of power. Shame! These normalization schemes, the deal of the century. How can it be that civilians on a small boat have shown more courage and humanity than entire government? These regimes boast of sovereignty and strength, yet when it comes to Gaza, when it comes to Palestine, they are the gatekeepers of the blockade, partners in occupation by silence, and puppets of foreign interests. Their inaction is not neutrality, it is collusion. It is a disgrace that in the face of genocide, their response is to tighten borders, cut deals with the occupiers, and crush solidarity movements at home. They have turned their backs not just on Palestine, but on their own dignity. What we've reiterated and what we've seen in this country and across the globe for the last 20 months, that the masses hold all the power, that the revolution will be victorious. It has shown us that we should never count on feeble, pathetic, complicit institutions to demand our own freedom. We take that matter into our own hands. If you consider yourself to be a person of conscience, yet still allow your apathy to make you stay neutral, claim you're ignorant, or to passively speak slogans of free Palestine whilst continuing to be a bystander, living your daily life without resisting, then you lack any ounce of humanity. You lack all the values of basic human decency you claim to stand for. Because every single person in every inch of society has something to contribute to the Palestinian cause. For one Madian boat, there should be 1,000. to touch her land soil after 77 years of exile. She's in handcuffs, but she said, when they arrest us, I will look at them as Lord Ibn Mhidi looked at the colonizers of his land. Serene, assured of the liberation of Palestine. They are the occupiers of this land. We are its roots. We think we are liberating Palestine, but it is Palestine that is liberating us. The Palestinians teach us life and what it needs to resist. We must stop waiting for the world to change and realize that we are the change. We must stop asking what will happen and start asking what will we make happen. What have we done today for the Palestinian cause? We have a responsibility as students, as workers, as general members in all of our communities to pressure the UK government to end its complicity, to continue to build up for our revolution, to continue is our moral test. Gaza has exposed the hypocrisy in our world, and when we call for a free Palestine, we don't just mean Gaza and the West Bank, we mean the occupied 48 region. When we say from the river to the sea, we mean it. Palestine is our umbrella of resistance. Palestine fights for all oppressed peoples in this world, because after all, in the final analysis, man is a cause. When we chant, I want all of London to hear you. In our thousands in Armenia! We are all Palestinians! We are all Palestinians! We are all Palestinians! We are all Palestinians! We the people, free the land! No peace on stolen land! No peace on stolen land! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! I'm going to introduce now the next speaker, which will be Jeremy Corbyn. I want to make note that the entirety of the Independent MP Alliance is standing behind me right now, here with us today.
Thank you. I'm joined by my comrades from the Independent Alliance Group in Parliament. Can you give a warm welcome to Adam can't be here, but he's in Parliament doing good work and obviously sends his solidarity. And a few minutes ago, Zara Sultana was here, but she's gone off to another demonstration, and I'm sure other colleagues are going to arrive. I want to just say a huge thank you to every single person that's here tonight. Every single person that's come out in solidarity with those people on the Madaleen and what they've been through overnight. I got a call at 2 o'clock this morning to say that somebody had dropped white substances on the people on that vessel, and they were terrified as to what this was. I don't even know what it was, but we do know that eventually the vessel was boarded and all those have been taken into custody in Israel at the present time. We send them our support, we send them our love, we send them our solidarity, and we send them our thanks. Doing all they could to take aid into Gaza. And during the interview that followed, somebody said to me, well, isn't there a question here? It was an innocent question actually they asked about international law and the breach of territorial waters. And I said, with the greatest respect, I wish to correct you here. The waters off the coast of Gaza are not part of Israel. We should never forget that it's occupied territory that is carrying on. And on top of the 60,000 that have already died in Gaza, many thousands have been injured or died in the West Bank, and almost 200,000 people in Gaza have been seriously injured. We're talking of almost 10% of the population have been badly injured in Gaza on top of those that have been died. This is unbelievable carnage. And on top of that, we're witnessing live television, children being starved to death, denied medicines that are available 5 kilometres away, denied water that is freely available to anybody on the other side of the fence. We're watching acts of genocide, acts of genocide against the Palestinian people. And so all I want to say is this. When history is written of this period of the 21st century, over there, they facilitated the supply of weapons, they allowed the use of the Royal Air Force Base in Cyprus to overfly, they supplied the components of the F-35 jets that have been so devastating in their effectiveness of killing people all over Gaza and beginning now in the West Bank. They continued the arms supplies and allowed the Palestinian people to be starved to death. Any retreats they've made have only happened because of the meetings, the marches, the demonstrations, the actions and the protests and occupations by students, the brave action by dock workers in France, in Spain, in Australia and other places that have refused to load weapons to Israel. It is global solidarity that is beginning to make that difference. We don't give up now. We grow our movement, we grow our strength, we grow our 21st of June is the middle of the year. It's Midsummer's Day. There is no reason whatsoever on earth we can't all be here on the 21st in the most massive demonstration we've ever held in support of the people of Palestine. To force the end of all arms supplies to Israel, to force the end of the supplying of parts to these devastating jets that are killing so many people, and to show real solidarity with all those that have continued to suffer because they live in a country under occupation. If occupation by Russia in Ukraine is wrong, then it's equally wrong for Israel to occupy. We are never going away while Palestine is under occupation. We're here, and let this message go loud and clear to the people of Palestine. We are with you. And the last thing I'd say is, look around you. Look at each other here today. What are we? We're men, we're women, we're black, we're white, we're gay, we're straight, we're Muslim, we're Jewish, we're Christian, we're Hindu, we're Buddhist. We are people for humanity, people for Palestine.
Make some noise for Jeremy Corbyn. Much louder. Free, free. Free, free. And we'll be giving a message from IJAN as well. Please make some noise for Sarah.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. And thank you to the organizers of this important gathering. The flotilla represents all of us, and we stand with them as we stand with the people of Gaza. IJAN, the International Jewish Anti-Zionist Network, has been holding a picket outside the Israeli ambassador's residence, calling for her expulsion. They were the first group to do that, and others have joined the call, which is so important, because we need anti-Zionist, uncompromising anti-Zionist Jewish people to call out Israel's crimes against humanity and genocide. IJAN's picket has been banned by the police 10 times. But the picket has continued now outside New Scotland Yard, calling for an end to the ban. The picket has been going since October 2024, from 6 to 7 every Friday. Please join us. The picket is made up of mothers, grandmothers, aunties, children, people with disabilities, queer and trans, people of color from all around the world, from Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, from Nigeria, from the Congo, from Sudan. And it's a place where we come together in our support for Gaza and the Palestinian people. Because Palestinians are us and we are them. We won't stop until there's justice in Gaza and across Palestine. We know that this is a genocide, not only against the people of Gaza, but against Palestine and against the world. But we also know that the apartheid in South Africa was overthrown by an international movement. And we know that the Atlantic slave trade that took my relatives into slavery, we ended that too. So we know that we can end the genocide, we can end Israel's genocide, and we will not stop. When we say in our millions and billions, we're all Palestinians, we mean it. And last 2 points I wanted to mention about, it's not only genocide against people, it's genocide against the environment and the planet. And the warfare that they do is not only killing in Gaza, but it's killing the world. And we want an end to the arms trade, all of it. So I thank you again for being here. I thank the organizers of this gathering. And also I would remind you that Layla is on a hunger strike for her son Allah. There's a vigil every day from 7 to 9 outside St. Thomas's Hospital, so please go and support her and support Allah. Also, I wanted to say that last of all, that IJAN to highlight the starvation and resist the starvation in Gaza. They're doing a daily picket from 11 to 2 outside Parliament. So come along and join them. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Make some noise for Santa!
Zionist Jewish activists, please make some noise for Sophia! Thank you, Haya. Thank you to the SOAS Liberated Zone and to everybody who's come out here at such short notice. We stand in solidarity with the 12 brave activists who were aboard the Flotilla Freedom Ship. Shame on the Israeli government, shame on our own government for not saying a word. But I think, as others have said, those 12 people aboard that ship represent every single one of us here, and they represent the billions of people across the world who have been fighting for Palestinian liberation, who have stood with the Palestinians, not just for the last 17 months, but for the last 76 years since the Zionist entity of Israel was created. And Israel is losing their war. They are losing their war. How embarrassing for them. For every single week, every screen you look at are the 12 people trying to bring aid, formula, medical resources to the Palestinians. But clearly they don't care about embarrassment. They have no shame, no humanity, but we know our numbers and our bravery will stop them. I mentioned I'm a Jewish anti-Zionist, and I am proud to stand in the tradition of anti-Zionist Jews who said that nothing that Israel has ever done will be in my name. My family know what genocide does. My grandfather came to this country as the sole survivor of his family after being held in the Warsaw Ghetto, after being held in Buchenwald concentration camp, being held in Theresienstadt. And we were taught when I was young the lessons of never again. And as a Jewish anti-Zionist, when I say never again, I mean never again should anyone have to experience genocide and the brutality. Ever again. But more importantly, when we stand together, we have to fight for a politics that says, yes, from the River Jordan to the Mediterranean Sea is all Palestinian land, but also Palestinians have the right to resist Israeli apartheid by whatever forms they choose. But just quickly, I actually want to talk about a different boat. Because this weekend, 3 boats that weren't carrying aid, but were carrying weapons of war, that weren't set for Gaza, but were set for the Zionist entity of Israel, was stopped. And they weren't stopped by war criminals, they were stopped by workers, dock workers. In Marseille, in France, and in Genoa, in Italy, workers came out and they stopped 3 ships loaded with ammunition set for Israel. This is the power of our movement. That is the power of the working class. And we can win. We can win. So when we say we stand with the dock workers, we say solidarity to them, solidarity to the 12 on the ship, and solidarity to everyone fighting for freedom. Look, the last thing I want to say is we have to connect up our movements from Kashmir to Kurdistan, but to the brave protests in Los Angeles right now. We say, Donald Trump, we see you. Stop the deportations. And let's be clear, Nigel Farage, if he had his way, he'd have ICE in Britain deporting migrants in London and across Britain. So we have to say, we will not stop. Fuck the racists, fuck Keir Starmer, and fuck the Zionists. We have to say, Keir Starmer, we see you. It is too little too late when they say now the deaths are intolerable. Was the 60,000 before the last 17 months? They were tolerable to Keir Starmer and David Lammy. They have blood on their hands. Shame. Keir Starmer not only has the blood of the Palestinians on his hands, he has the blood of disabled people when he takes away their bread payments. He has the blood of refugees when they're driven out from our homes. And he has the blood of trans teenagers when he attacks them and he doesn't stand for trans rights. Our movement is for everyone. We see that Last Tuesday, there was a call to shut down the arms factories in Britain, in Kent, in Sheffield, in Portsmouth. We will do what the workers did in Marseille. We will shut down the arms factories. No more weapons for the war criminals. Freedom for Palestine. Let the 12 go. Break the siege. Long live the Intifada. Thank you.
I just wanted to say what Sarah of from IGEN talked about Layla. Layla is the result of a dictatorship regime in Egypt, and she sought here the security, the protection from the UK, and it showed that it's also a dictatorship regime. So no matter what they say that they are the so-called democracies and the so-called countries for human rights, they are all the same but in different faces. So Layla is the mother of Ala Abdel Fattah, who has been imprisoned in Egypt for 11 years now. She's been on strike for about 8.5 months. Until this moment, neither here in the UK government listened to get him as a British citizen, nor the Egyptian system got him out because his mother is actually dying, which shows us that they all work together and treat us all as people. In our countries in Egypt, they call it the so-called third world country, or here in the UK, where they call it the first world countries, we are all slaves to them. They just use us for their benefits, as if we don't count. Just wanted to tell you that's why, as my daughter said, Haya said, that Palestine is our umbrella of struggle, because Palestine, when it is free, our all nations around the world will be free, because we are all colonized by these so-called superpowers. So I'll just chant my favorite chant and then give it to Haya. From London to Palestine!
Okay, I'm gonna introduce now the next speaker, a brother of mine, a special comrade who's been with us from the very, very beginning at SOAS. He was actually permanently excluded last year. Shame on SOAS! And he was dismissed from working in the Students' Union. We're very proud of him. Please welcome Abel!
But those 12 people on the flotilla, but they represent something so much more. I'm here from the source liberated zone, because for over 1 year, we did something very simple. We said that our university, an institution of education, should not be complicit in a genocide. The response that we got was that we were no longer welcome in that institution. And now you see 12 people do something so simple, to bring baby formula and rice to people under starvation, people under forced starvation. Something so simple. What kind of world are we living in when 12 people carrying rice and baby formula generated this kind of reaction? But we're not here just for those 12 people, we're here for what they represent. Because that simple act they took, it showed the brutality and the hypocrisy of the whole system that this world is living under. What they did, what we saw broadcast on our screens and on news across the world, is what every mother, every father, every son, every daughter has been doing in Gaza for the last 18 months. Going out, facing bullets, facing bombs to get food for their family. That is the reality. What those 12 people have gone through has been a reality, has been a lighter version of the reality the people of Gaza have been facing for the last 18 months. That's why we have to say loud and clear, end the ceasefire and break the siege. As my sister has said, for every Madian there was, then there'll be 1,000 more. And let's not forget the thousands of people marching now. The thousands who've marched, who set off from Tunisia, who passed through Egypt and they are marching to Rafah. Because they submit the steadfastness of the people that has opened the eyes of all people of conscience around the world. They have shown us the oppression that we are living under. Because when we said our university should not be complicit in genocide, they kicked us out of the university. When those 12 activists said people under forced starvation should have access to their basic necessities of life, they abducted them and attacked them with chemical weapons even. This is the reality of the system. But the resistance of the people in Gaza has woken us up. Look at what's happening in LA. Would that be happening if it was not for the resistance of the people in Palestine? The people in LA with rocks in their hands did more than all these liberal politicians have done for the last 18 months. The people of LA with rocks in their hands did more than these Labour left politicians who still want to come out here talking about a two-state solution. The politicians in there have no answers for us. The institutions, the universities, the liberals, human rights, they don't have answers for us. Look around, we are our answer to ourselves. Palestinian people are their answer to their liberation. They will go out and they will continue to resist and they will continue to inspire us to resist. The people, as we mentioned earlier, the dock workers in France, in Italy, and Morocco, who stopped the weapons going directly, they are our answer, and we have to be an answer like them too. On the 17th of June, when we go, we will go and shut down those arms factories. We'll remind ourselves the power that we, the masses, have. Because it's the masses who will be part of this movement. To follow the resistance of the Palestinian people who are already freeing Palestine. Because Zionism is collapsing. Zionism has never been weaker than it is today. It is falling apart. That is because of the resistance of the people in Palestine. That is because of the offensive even of the people who resist under any means necessary. People who resisted and have been negotiating over very clear demands for the past 18 months for a permanent ceasefire, to break the siege on Gaza, to release all Palestinian prisoners who are all political prisoners. There are clear demands they're negotiating over. When we say free Palestine, we mean from the river to the sea, and we say Palestine will be free. We'll see you on the 17th hour the arms factories, and let's continue that resistance, because we will come here and we will say shame on Keir Starmer, bring down this UK government. We say bring down the Zionist entity and all these governments who have been supporting them. Because that is how Palestine is freeing us. It is freeing us only to utilize their own oppression, and that our liberation is bound up with the liberation of the Palestinian people. So we will come out on the 17th and we will say we will not be part of the arms trade, and we will continue after that, using our power as people, as students, as workers who have the power to shut down this whole system. Let's keep going, keep building it up, keep supporting every demonstration like this. The 12 people on the Sefina represent the billions worldwide who will not stop, will not rest, till Palestine is free from the river to the sea.
final speakers, who is like a sister to me. She is my sister, and she's also my sister in struggle. And she's been with us from day one, the SOAS Liberated Zone, suspended the entire year. Then for like literally a few days went back, got suspended again after a Nakba Day action that we did. Please make some noise for Tara! Gaza, that will end the occupation and the colonization of Palestine, and that will liberate each and every one of back to higher because we've been joined by some lovely people in yellow and vest back here. A message for them. Oink, oink, boogie, There's a couple of announcements I want to make. The first one is, obviously, sign the petition for an investigation, an independent investigation to be made. The last Freedom Flotilla that was bombed. Shame! So, sign the petition. It will be on our link tree. Follow the Gaza Freedom Flotilla on Instagram. Follow the SOAS Liberated Zone on Instagram. Follow our campaigns, whether that's the suspensions, the expulsions, especially the injunction, because the University of London have criminalized protests on our own campus and possibly, if we protest without permission, sanction us to 2 years in prison. Shame! The next thing is to keep up with the Free the Filton 18 campaign. 18 comrades who have been imprisoned for upholding international law and for taking action against the machinery of genocide. support our comrades. Keep amplifying the voices of the 12 activists that were on the Freedom Flotilla as they are now detained in Israeli prison. And a message to all the students here. Just because it's summer, it doesn't mean our work is done. Our work is continuing. We continue to escalate. We continue to escalate into the new academic year. We have a responsibility to do so, not just in the UK, to all students across the world. Globalized Intifada. That's BYNG Place. This is where our encampment at SOAS is still going. Please come and visit us. We would love to have all of you there. Make some noise!